I think there's 25 or something colonies in this yard, maybe 30, I don't know. 23 of them are mine, but out of all of the colonies in this yard, this is the only one that looks like it's got activity right now. It's got to be orientation because that colony sure had a lot of brood last time I was in it. I imagine those orientation flights. Carniolan stock, kept a low mite count. They keep bees. Check them out. Oh, that sucks. See, that's what I was just talking about. Oh man. Well, we know that they definitely have food. They're building comb. All right, cleaning this up. Think it's lit. On this episode of James Lee's Bees, I call it the browning of the greens because everything's turning brown and nothing is green. It's October 13th, 2025, and it is time to do some weights in one of the yards. Not really going to do any inspections or follow-up work, but just going to simply pull out some feeders on a couple of the colonies that needed a little bit of extra juice and do final weights because there's nothing you can do about it at this point moving forward. I use this Walmart style, 12 bucks 20 years ago. It's probably 50 bucks now, but this is just a simple Walmart luggage scale. It's got a bunch of different modes. Obviously, it's in poundage because I'm American and we use the imperial system for no good reason. But I just heft it from one side to the other and add the two together. They say you can add 10%. That gives you a little bit more of a feeling of confidence, I guess, on the weight. Maybe it's accurate, maybe it's not. I should test it against actually putting it on the bathroom scale. In the past I've used the bathroom scale, but I don't have time or the extra hand right now to do it. But if I did have the extra hand, I would just use the luggage scale, and there's a episode where I did just that right there, so you can check that out. Because we're prepping for winter and the nights are getting cold, days are in the 60s and 70s, low 70s now. Nights are getting into the mid 40s, low 50s, so we're going to put these mouse guards on the fronts of the colonies. Obviously cut to size, some more than others, but I run a full open entrance on the bottom. That full open entrance I want those mouse guards to protect it from any mice getting in, obviously. And it also helps keep a little pocket of cool air on the bottom of the colony so they can retain heat under the insulation at the top, because I also don't run any ventilation. Let's see. Here's the open feeder I had out. Obviously completely drained. Been about a week since I filled it. A little bit of yellow jacket activity. But gonna go through the yard and pull all the feeders off of colonies that have a feeder on them. Anything with 4 boxes, I put a feeder in, I think. This one might be 5 because I think they have a full hung super. An extra super, that is. Those all have feeders on them. So I'm gonna go through and pull all those out too. It's completely random yellow jacket. Hanging out on the outskirts there, waiting on dead bees, dead pupa. Maybe sneaking in and stealing eggs or other easily victimized honeybees. Looks like a dead one right there. So obviously these ladies may have their guard up. This colony was also treated with Formic Pro. Looks pretty good. Does it smell like Formic Pro? Nah. The only problem is manipulating colonies this late in the year. Just kind of asking for problems. So I'm pulling these frames out. And I had originally moved them so there was room for the feeder down there. I just weighed that one right there with the cinder block on top, and that was 92 pounds, which is pretty good. That's about what I want, around 100 pounds for these colonies to make it through to the spring. This should be good for the dandelions too, not have to worry about feeding. But I will probably get nervous and want to come in here and feed them anyways. But they got plenty of bees. Yeah, this one didn't really seem to be too impacted by the Formic like the other ones did. And they maintained the queen. That's how it's supposed to go. The last colony, the queen from They Keep Bees, Carniolan pole line stock, I believe, really packing it on, and had the extra frames that I had sitting above in the empty super built out further than they were when I put them there, so I had to do some trimming. It was interesting. But that's how easy I want them all to go. This one also looked like it maintained pretty decent hive bee numbers. See, a little bit of fattening of the comb there. Do some slight trimming. Now it is October 13th. I think it's around 70 something right now. It's not horrible. But they're very calm. I haven't been stung yet. There's not really any flow going on, not that I'm aware of. Look at them building the bridge comb there between the boxes. That's the only thing that sucks. They're gonna have to come back through here and rework those. All right, I'm gonna loosen that up and put this one back together, and then we'll peek in on the others too. This one maybe not as strong. Lots of capped food up here at the top though. This one kind of stinks. My kids would say it smells like booty butt. Booty butt, booty butt. No, they didn't get that from me. I got it from them. I mean, every seam has bees in it. Not overly concerned. Definitely smaller than the last couple. If you're asking yourself, was it treated? The answer to that, I believe, is yes. No, it was not treated. September 1st, it was queen right. It had 13 mites. 5% is 15 mites. So I stuck to my rule. And because I didn't do a Harbo assay on this one, I didn't treat it. So we will see come spring. But right now, the bees look really good. Just not as overstuffed as the last couple. But that could be a million different things, but I don't think it's anything related to those were treated and these were not, as much as this was a cell builder previously. So I expected the mites to be a little higher. Give the ants their home back. This one was very hygienic. Scored very high on the pin-killed brood assay. Scored a 4 on the Harbo, even though it's a first-year colony. There's not a lot of reproduction in the brood. There also was obviously not a lot of bees with mites on the dispersal phase around the workers when I did the mite washes. But they were super hygienic, and that was a slight issue because their population stayed pretty small. Not exactly a production colony, but genetics that I want added to the breeding population. So they will get moved. Yeah, there, that's not looking too bad. That's what you want to see. That is what you want to see. Oh, hive beetles. My little friends. This one's definitely going to have weight, kind of weight we want to see. Let's take a quick look at it and check it out. Can I do it one-handed? Yes, I can. £40 on that side. I usually guesstimate I'll have pretty close or similar weight on the other side too. Ready? Go. All right. It is more than enough. It's exactly what I wanted, and I'm glad that that colony has the weight that it needs for winter. So that's over 100 pounds. Total hive weight, give or take 45 pounds for the hive equipment. Solid bottom board, 3 medium, 8 boxes, wooden frames mostly, some plastic, but that's just going to underestimate. Low mite counts in August and at the end of August, so if they don't make it, oh well, there's no reason to treat them. So why go through the trouble of making sure that these colonies are up to weight? Because I should have left enough honey on them to make it through. But each colony has a full super of honey on each box. And for these size colonies, because I winter smaller hives, I guess you would say, smaller cavities, using 3 medium 8s for winter, come springtime, they will all be up in the top boxes. But it seemed like a theme through the yard that even if I hadn't taken any additional honey, the brood boxes, the brood nests, the bottom 2 mediums weren't really filled or backfilled, and it had looked like they were bringing in nectar. There was a pretty decent late flow, but you know, you still have to make decisions, management decisions regarding your food and stores for winter. But like I said, the theme with my colony seems to be that they have small brood nests. They don't always fill those bottom 2 boxes, and they always end up in the top medium near the end of the winter, coming out of winter going into spring. So I wanted to make sure there was enough stores in those bottom boxes and gave them each 2 gallons of feed, especially if their hive weights were a little lighter than what I expect. So if they weighed in around 50 pounds about a month ago, I started feeding everybody that was around that hive weight. I want and expect everybody to be at least 70 pounds, but 90 to 100 pounds is good peace of mind, so we can get to dandelions without running around feeding everybody sugar cakes. And I can actually enjoy the time off, because you know, once the spring gets here, there's no rest for the beekeeping weary. Oh, that sucks. See, that's what I was just talking about. Oh man. Well, we know that they definitely have food. They're building comb. All right, cleaning this up. This one was treated. Previous 2 were not treated. Yes, I save it. Save it for later. How do you know where the queen is? I don't. But if she's inside the feeder, that's why I'm tapping them down over top of the box. Just in case. Boring. Nothing exciting to see here. Just moving frames around. Weighing colonies. Easing my mind because there's going to be nothing to worry about all winter, right? It's getting dark too. But hey, at least the bees aren't sassy. That is beautiful. As soon as I say that, that's when you get popped. Now I'm scraping the tops of these frames because when I put the reflectix back down, I want to try to minimize as much of the air gap as possible. So it sits flat and there's not a lot of opportunity for air to escape. And they can retain their heat with the insulation on top. That's simple.